in Nvidia here on the 30-minute chart, what's sticking out to us is this 9-day EMA and this 200 SMA are starting to squeeze tighter than yesterday's trading session. Obviously, the day that we had yesterday throughout the whole market, once everything kind of started going with everything and it kind of consolidated at the top, figured, okay, oh, there we go. We're in green. We're going to stay up here. No big deal. Now, today was a little bit trickier. Obviously, we thought we were going to have a pullback and then consolidation. That's what we had, but we did have a little run up after the pullback. So it looks like everybody still wants to stay green. And actually, the day we had in here with Nvidia, we thought that this would be normal for stocks like Tesla as well. But Tesla kind of did the opposite where, or not the opposite, but it did this, right? Pull back and then kind of ran up. But then at 2 o'clock, just kind of took off. We figured something like Nvidia or something like stock like that would have that same type of run. But no, it was Tesla that did it and Nvidia kind of stayed the same. So this right here is kind of telling us a lot that, hey, we still want to squeeze, we still want to consolidate, we want to stay green, but we also want to consolidate and we overexhausted ourselves yesterday, right? Let's take a breather here. Let's kind of pull back a little bit longer. So it looks like the 120, not really caring about. It's going to be down here at this 119.13 area. That's going to be a good level for us. As far as our support, you can see pre-market, the before yesterday's trading session, that was a lot of action. Everybody's hammering on it, right? Going into, I'm sorry, aftermarket into pre-market. So that is always a good level to be aware of. I know you don't have enough volume or things like that, but it's always good to have those levels in there just to kind of, see. And then also, if you can kind of, if you don't believe us as far as those levels actually working, you can go back to two trading sessions ago, where you had a nice resistance in there midday, and then end of day two was right around that same area, those 119.10s to the 119.15s. So that is going to be an area that we're looking at to pull back if we start to get a little bit overexhausted in here, which it looks like we have. But we have some indecision here on the daily. So what do we do with that information? We have that information with our 30-minute. Hey, we kind of want to pull back to the 119.10s. What does the daily tell us? Well, daily is kind of telling us, hey, the same thing, right? So indecision, we can't really make up our mind in here. We're sitting on this 9-day EMA in there. So that's good. And that currently is trading at the 118.65s. Below that, for your next support, you're going to be down here at the 116 level. So it looks like we do want to kind of consolidate in here just a little bit more, get this RSI back down for this next run up into the 200 SMA or this upper trend line here that we have. Still, we have a long way to go before we're banging up on against this 130 upper trend line here, but we could hit it sooner rather than later. That's being within the next few weeks or so. But really, what are we kind of being more aware about than anything here on the daily chart? It's that the 9-day EMA is holding, right? So that is good. You can see in the past, we kind of breached it a couple times and then we'd stay below it and then just can't get above it, and then above it a couple of days and then back below it. But now we're kind of holding it, right? So the past week and a half, kind of staying here, right? You have all these green days in a row, albeit not really great candles to be looking at here, but we are all above the 9-day EMA. So going forward, that seems like it's going to be a great support for us in here going forward. So 9-day EMA on the daily is going to be our support. We're looking for a pullback on the 30-minute chart to the 119 levels, and then we'll see where we go from there. Resistance wise, what are we looking at? Well, it's going to be 122.86. Then we're looking at this 200 SMA in here, but really this that 122.86 mark, that is going to be an area that we have to worry about first before we can kind of do anything. Who cares about the 120? Don't care about that big one psychological level of 120. We care about 122 more than anything. Now, your IV rank wise in here is low, so that's what's going to happen. We have consolidation here, just kind of sitting here, nothing really happening. And then you obviously have green days on top of that. Volatility is going to get sucked out, right? So you only have $3 of an expected move by this Friday. If you got the next Friday, right around a $6 expected move. So if we do get a pullback, a breach of this 9-day EMA, and we do touch this 116, that is good because now we're getting a little bit more volatility in here. We're going to get another pop. Or if we get a pop, it's going to be bigger for us, quicker, because we have volatility, and then we can start to head back up here to this upper trend line. But if the volatility kind of stays the same, we could keep on throwing up green indecision candles in here. It's not really going to help us much as we're kind of working our way forward, and then eventually we're just going to, the bottom's going to fall through it, right? So kind of nervous in here right now. We expected that we would have that little jump in here, like we did Tesla today, to kind of give us over this candle from yesterday, but we're still inside of it with the doji here on the daily. So it looks like a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a pullback in here as needed, just so we can get another kind of get our footing before another run up. So it kind of took a lot out of us here in Nvidia from yesterday's trading session. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you're interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.